Hi, I welcome you all for this session on software development models. In this session, we are going to discuss about spiral SDLC models. This topic comes under the subject software engineering. We will move on to the session. So what is SDLC? So SDLC is the abbreviation for software development lifecycle models, and that are those are the frameworks which is being given or which can be accessed as the guide for development process of any software applications right from the scratch. That is right from the initialization or the initiation part to the deployment process. So nowadays we have various SDLC models in software engineering exist and each with its own approach to the development process. So different SDLC models have its own approach and each has its own merits and demerits. So during the software development phase, so various software development lifecycle models are specified and designed so to guarantee success in each stage of the software development process. So this process adheres to the different specific of its kind and it has to follow various process. It differs from models to models also. So here we are going to discuss about the spiral model. I hope you know a traditional model called waterfall method is also followed, which is a systematic approach. In this session, we are going to discuss about spiral model, which in addition to the waterfall concept, it adds one more feature that is the idea of iterative development. So what do you mean by iteration? One above the other, so that principle is being involved. So other than that, it follows the classic waterfall method also. So it is the basics of the concept of spiral where each loop is going to represent a phase in the spiral model. Okay, so what do you mean by loop? So it is a continuous process. So in each stage the continuous process is repeated and it is being carried out. So this model is inherently it is a risk driven because that is the continuously assist and address the throughput of the development life cycle. So it involves a little bit of risk. At the same time, it is one of the widely used model also. So the key principles of spiral SDLC models are iterative development, as I told you earlier. So it embraces iterative development and it also allows to the incremental release of the product. So each iteration or spiral in its phase, it includes again planning, risk analysis, engineering, testing, and evaluation. So one above the other, you can consider it like a new versions. So one above the other, it is incremental. And the risk management is the fundamental component of a spiral model, as I told you in the previous slide. So each iteration begins with the risk assessment. The first process is begins with the risk assessment, and it analyzes the progresses based upon the priorities. Okay, so each approach follows a proactive risk management and meditation, and then the actual process is followed. Next one is the flexibility is the one of the important principle of this SDLC model where it offers a flexibility, that is it is highly adaptable to the change in requirements at any phases. So it involves in again it involves in planning, assessment, modification, adjustment to whatever changes being made, and it also makes easy for us to accommodate the evolving project needs. Next is risk mitigation. I told you about this risk analysis, and it is properly managed, and it allows also why we are doing this risk management is to analyze and identify what are all the potential issues can be generated so that it is earlily identified and it is either avoided or it is addressed. Flexibility in requirements, as you know that requirements keep on changing, so the changes to the requirements is accommodated at the any stage of the development process. So the nature of the spiral model is the excellent adaptive nature, and it also enables us to produce a highly quality product so that even though a change is made at the final stage, this model helps us to adapt it to easily, and it also helps us to identify the different defects and it is earlier addressed so that during the development life cycle we are not facing any problems or any issues. Next one is the thorough risk management. So we again, it's one of the major impact is the risk um, analysis. So it helps us to identify the high risk elements. At the same time, it also helps us to minimize the potential changes made to the actual software. And during this process, we will be holding a regular review meeting so that after each iteration, which is they are made to sit down and analysis and plan to the next step. So it is going to be a continuous feedback loop. It's also employed so that it is a crucial for success. And the collaborative team, it's also one of the major um, success behind this spiral model. And the team involved works as a team, and they are constantly communicating, and it is one of the dynamic nature of this spiral model. Let we come to the end of the session. We'll meet in next session. Thank you.